Welcome back to Offside Talk. It's been a whirlwind 24 hours in the world of football, Ethan. So much to dive into.
Absolutely, Jess. The market is on fire. Let's start with Arsenal and the big news about Eberechi Eze. Rumors are flying that Arsenal have received a massive boost in their pursuit. Crystal Palace may be open to negotiating now.
That would be a huge signing. Eze's been electric for Palace, and his versatility would give Arteta even more attacking options. And with Saliba reportedly close to signing a new deal, Arsenal look to be locking down their future.
That's not all. Real Madrid are said to have reduced their asking price for Rodrygo, and Arsenal are among the clubs keeping tabs. It could be a huge window.
Speaking of big moves, Liverpool have officially sold Luis Díaz to Bayern Munich for £65.5 million. That's massive, and it's already setting off a domino effect across Europe.
Exactly. One move triggers 5 others, and now Bayern are targeting Nick Woltemade from Stuttgart. They've reportedly agreed personal terms, and it could cost them around €50 million.
Woltemade isn't the biggest name, but Bayern's track record with young German talent speaks for itself. They rarely miss.
Meanwhile, Liverpool are apparently in the lead to sign Rodrygo from Real Madrid. Betting odds have them as frontrunners ahead of Arsenal and City. That would be a huge statement.
Replacing Diaz with Rodrygo would be a power move. He's fast, technical, and has already played in massive matches at Madrid.
And with Diaz gone, it's not just a hole in the lineup. It's also a shift in how Klopp might shape his next attack. If Rodrygo comes in, we could see a whole new tactical evolution.
And that leads us into the biggest rumor, Liverpool going after Isak from Newcastle. The numbers being thrown around are insane, 120 to 150 million pounds.
Yeah, and it gets crazier. Analysts say it could lead to a £330 million transfer merry-go-round, involving multiple Premier League clubs, a true chain reaction.
If Isak does move, Newcastle will need a replacement. And reports suggest they're already looking at Benjamin Šeško, who's also on Manchester United's radar.
Šeško's been a hot name for a while now. He's got that mix of size, speed, and finishing, and still only 21. He's like a raw Haaland.
Speaking of United, they've also emerged as favorites to land Nicholas Jackson from Chelsea. That caught me off guard. He's only been there a year.
True, but Chelsea need to offload players, and United want to beef up their attacking depth. Bayamo and Cunha are great adds, but Jackson adds a different style.
It's fascinating watching these top clubs reposition themselves before the season starts. One move changes everything.
And we're only just scratching the surface. In part 2, we'll get into Chelsea's wild midfield revamp, Spurs' surprising Palhinha plan, and a potential MLS shocker involving Thomas Müller. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to part 2 of Offside Talk. We promised you drama, and here it is. Let's start with Chelsea. They're not just offloading attackers, they're rebuilding their midfield again.
Right. Reports suggest they're preparing a bold move for Xavi Simons. It's part of a plan to replace João Felix, who's heading to Saudi Arabia. Simons brings creativity and youth, very Chelsea.
And Felix heading to the Saudi Pro League? That just keeps happening. These high-profile exits are opening up so many windows for Premier League clubs to restructure.
Exactly. That brings us to Spurs. In a somewhat surprising shift, they're looking to replace Bissouma with João Palhinha from Fulham. A deal worth around £21 million is being discussed.
Palhinha would bring serious steel to that midfield. Postecoglou clearly wants a more disciplined holding presence to balance the flair.
And Spurs could definitely use that. But the bigger story that caught everyone off guard, Thomas Müller to MLS?
That's wild. Reports say Vancouver Whitecaps are frontrunners now, with LAFC pulling out. Transfer rights are estimated at around $400,000. I never imagined Müller finishing his career in Canada.
It makes sense, though. He's always been interested in building football culture and legacy, and Vancouver has the facilities and ambition to match that.
It would be a major headline for the MLS. A legend of German football making the switch could drive major attention, maybe even a spike in attendance.
And it sends a signal that MLS clubs are thinking smart, not just splashy, bringing in players who can influence the locker room and young talent.
Speaking of young talent, let's not overlook what these moves mean for development pathways. If clubs like Chelsea bring in Simons, what happens to their academy players?
That's the ripple effect we don't always see. Players like Carney Chukwuemeka and Andre Santos might now need loans to play regularly.
Same at Liverpool if Rodrygo joins. What happens to Harvey Elliott? Or at Arsenal if Eze comes in. How does that impact Emile Smith-Rowe?
The game has layers, Jess. For every headline transfer, there's a dozen players adjusting, shifting roles, or moving on.
And fans love the big names, but these ripple effects often determine who breaks through or who fades away.
Part 3 is coming up. We'll look deeper into Newcastle's next move, how FIFA's new HQ in Africa might change world football, and a preview of the Euro 2025 women's final between England and Spain. Don't miss it.
Welcome to part 3 of Offside Talk. Let's jump straight into what could be the next big domino, Newcastle's transfer reaction if Isak does leave.
Exactly. If Isak goes to Liverpool, Newcastle will need an immediate replacement. Benjamin Sesko is the name being whispered, and not just by fans. Scouts from St. James's Park have reportedly been watching him for months.
The competition's fierce, though. Manchester United are very interested as well. Sesko's profile is too good to ignore. He's tall, strong, clinical, and at 21, he fits the mold of a future superstar.
What I love is that he's not just raw potential, he's already performing at a high level. In the Bundesliga, he's been consistent and his link-up play is underrated.
Let's pivot now to FIFA's recent big move, opening a regional headquarters in Rabat, Morocco. This is a huge step for football development in Africa.
Absolutely. It's more than just symbolism. FIFA is putting boots on the ground, committing resources to grow infrastructure, coaching, and youth programs across the continent.
Morocco has been rising fast, semi-finalists in the World Cup, and their club football is on the up. Hosting this office solidifies their role as a hub for African football.
It also reflects FIFA's shift towards decentralization, getting closer to local communities and building genuine, lasting development programs rather than occasional tournaments.
There's a ripple effect here, too. Players who previously had to leave Africa early in their careers might now have top-tier opportunities at home.
And clubs from around the world might start scouting more directly in North and West Africa as facilities improve and talent pipelines stabilize.
Speaking of competitions, all eyes are on the upcoming Euro 2025 women's final, England versus Spain. What a showdown that's going to be.
It's a rematch of sorts, and the stakes couldn't be higher. England's Lionesses are riding high after that comeback win over Italy.
Spain's been clinical all tournament, but England have the emotion, the home crowd, and a chance at history. There's even talk of a parade in London if they win.
The women's game has grown so much. This final could break viewership records, and the level of play, it's phenomenal.
It's also a statement. This isn't just a side event anymore. Women's football is central to the European football calendar.
Coming up in our final part, we'll wrap up with Liverpool's youth signing coup, Sunderland's unexpected big-name transfer, and some fan reactions you won't want to miss. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the final part of Offside Talk. We've covered the major names, but now let's turn to the next wave, youth talent and surprise transfers.
Exactly. Liverpool have just pulled off a small but stunning move, signing 17-year-old Will Wright from Salford City, hijacking a deal Arsenal thought they had in the bag.
That's a bold statement by Klopp and the recruitment team. Wright is highly rated, and Liverpool winning that tug of war shows how they're thinking long-term.
Arsenal reportedly made a strong pitch, but Wright chose Liverpool, possibly for their track record of bringing youth into the first team. Think of Elliott, Jones, even Kwanzaa.
It might not grab headlines like the Díaz or Rodrygo transfers, but these moves shape the future. And speaking of unexpected, how about Sunderland signing Granit Xhaka?
That blew my mind. £17 million for a player who was crucial for Leverkusen's success last season. That's a big swing for a championship club.
Or maybe not for long. Sunderland are clearly gunning for promotion, and this shows they mean business. Xhaka brings leadership, bite, and composure.
He instantly becomes the centerpiece of that squad. And with such ambition from Sunderland, the championship just got a lot more exciting.
Let's finish with something we don't talk about enough, the fans. Their reactions this week have been wild, from social media celebrations to absolute meltdowns.
The Rodrygo rumors alone had Liverpool and Arsenal fans trading shots all over X and TikTok. And Newcastle's fan base is split right down the middle on Isak.
Even Müller's MLS links sparked debate. Some German fans feel emotional, while MLS fans are ready to roll out the red carpet.
The global nature of football means every move echoes everywhere. One signing in Germany triggers reaction videos in Nigeria, Brazil, or Indonesia.
And podcasts like ours are just trying to make sense of the madness. But that's the magic of the game. It never stops.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Offside Talk. We've unpacked everything from record transfers to emerging stars.
Make sure to subscribe, drop a like, and leave a comment. Let us know what shocked you most and what topics you want next time.
Thanks for tuning in, and as always, keep it offside.
Catch you next episode.